All right, for all my software engineers, we need to stop focusing so hard. And what I mean by that specifically is hyper focusing, where you're learning a technology and you want to know every single minute detail that technology or that software offers. And I have been a victim of this for a very long time, even until recently. Currently, just to give an example, where I was doing this, I'm doing a migration on my work where there's this observability tool called Datadog. And for those that don't know what observability means, it means you can monitor applications where you gather metrics for them. You can do alerting on those metrics that you get to send out tickets for teams if their like CPU utilization is high, for example, or memory is too high. Or you can visualize that data with a graph and all different types of visualization types. So I found myself trying to learn every minute detail about Datadog, but I realized there's so many features to the platform that I don't have time to do that and implement this migration before the deadline for this project is due. Because when I thought about it, it's like all I need to know is how Datadog is deployed currently, and then how I can update that to use Dynatrace instead. I don't need to know every single minute detail. I just need to know how it's being used. And when I did that, I realized that, first of all, it's done through Terraform. For those that don't know, Terraform is just infrastructure as code. So you basically declare everything that you want infrastructure-wise, like all your resources and things of that nature. And then when you push that code up, then your application is your infrastructure is deployed for you. So that's all I need to know, right? But I'm just very curious, and I found myself spending too much time on tutorials where I'm like, I haven't implemented anything yet. So understand, and the best way to know how to not hyper focus is, for you, if you're dealing with this problem, is understand what it is, the problem that you're trying to solve. Or, I'm saying I'm doing a migration, but if you're implementing a new feature or you're migrating your code to a new application, understand what you need. Like, what are the requirements? What's actually needed to be migrated over or implemented? And focus on just that when you're reading up the documentation for the software that you're working with or the technology you're working with. Just focus on those things because that's the most important. And that way it allows you to have flexibility to work on more projects, because for a long time, I've been, pretty much just an entry-level software engineer, but recently in the last 3-4 months, my responsibility has grown where I need to be working on multiple things at a time. And it's not always just, coding, right? Like there's other, business procedures, right, that you need to account for as well. So there's multiple things going on. So I don't have time to deep dive into one software so I found myself realizing that, okay, just focus on what you need, right, at a high level, read the documentation for that, and then migrate and then, implement that. And then by doing that, you also do yourself a service by focusing on only what you need. And you actually will remember and retain that information going forward because you utilized it, right? I'm a big believer, if you don't use something, you lose it. So if you're reading a full documentation for some software, but you only use, let's say there's like 10 different components to some software you're learning, right? To the documentation. You read all 10 parts, but you only really need three of those parts. You will forget the other 7 if you don't use it. So what's the point of even learning at that point in time? Only learn it when you need to use it. Because then that way you're saving time by that way, and you're actually maximizing your efforts in that way as well. So very, very simple concept. I hope you guys got some value out of this. Comment below what you think. Let me know what you guys are working on. I'm in the DevOps space, like I said, so if you guys have any recommendations for tools to do going forward, I would love to hear that as well. And subscribe if you haven't to me already, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.